Good morning, everybody out there. How are we doing today? We are back on this lovely Wednesday morning for the dragon reading. So I would like to say Happy New Year to all of those dragons out there that are now coming over into this year of the dragon. We're not even coming over into it. We're into it, aren't we? We are full on into the beginnings of that new year now. So yeah, Happy New Year to you guys. Also, I would like to say that I've removed the intro from the beginning because it was there more for a guidance on the order of the personalities or the order the animals come in the Zodiac. And I think people have kind of got it by now. But on that note, on Sundays, I will be doing a video of general Chinese Zodiac knowledge. So if you're interested in finding out more about the Chinese Zodiac, and finding out, about the circle of conflict, the compatibilities, the triangles, the, all of that stuff, then hit that subscribe button because we're going to be doing those videos every so often on a Sunday. It won't be every Sunday, it'll be every so often. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Right, let's see how things are going for the dragon. So this is the first dragon reading for the dragons on the dragon, New Year. So let's see what we've got for you guys today. Okay, we're going to leave it there with that from the top, bottom, that from the middle, and that from the top. Well, there's a surprise. All whites. We've got 1, 2, 3, but don't get all ahead of yourself, because that does not necessarily mean everything's going to be great. It just means that things could be worse, but it doesn't mean that they're not bad. I mean, things could be really bad, and they could be getting worse than that bad place, if that makes sense. I don't want people to get this idea that because they're white it's always good news, or if they're black it's always bad news, because that's not the case. This could be a set of very incompatible cards for the dragon, despite the fact they're white. They're just saying it could be worse. You might be in a really crappy place, but it could be worse. You could be in a really good place because it could be worse. But let's find out. Let's see where we're at. Starting off slow with that pig card there. Now, that's an interesting one because the pig and the dragon, they're not exactly incompatible, but it's not the most fast-moving sign when it comes to compatibility. Dragons tend to get along a bit better with those that can keep up with them, and unfortunately pigs aren't really necessarily that type of personality, but they do get on. They can be really good friends. They may have different senses of humor to some degree, or have a bit of a different approach to things, but they do get along. So it's not like it's a conflict card. It is a catalyst card, but I don't see it being anything. I just see that catalyst card is that transition from that rabbit year to the dragon year, and most people that are born in the year of the dragon are going to start feeling that, and you are feeling it, and I feel that you're feeling like you are going to start coming out of this slow-paced sort of place where you are, and now you're going to start moving forward into this now very active, very keeping busy, doing side of things. I feel like there's no conflict right now that is too big or too kind of demanding of you, or at least you feel confident enough to carry all the stuff that you are carrying. It's just making you a little bit slow and steady because you can't rush this. You can't rush this at all. There is definitely a need, or you have felt a need to kind of take a step back and have some patience, and this is a waiting game. As I say, the boar is a very slow moving, if not let's just stop and have a rest kind of card. They're not necessarily trying to get anywhere very quickly, and I don't think you're stuck because it's not a black boar or a black pig. This is a white pig. I think you've chosen to be here. You have chosen to stay where you are in this place. And you aren't necessarily in any hurry to go anywhere because there's nowhere for you to go. There's things that you could do and things you can get on with, but that doesn't mean you have to move from the spot that you're in. There isn't necessarily a lot going on for you elsewhere because you're carrying everything pretty well. There's nothing broken that needs fixing. There's nothing dirty that needs cleaning. There's nothing that necessarily is taking all your attention. So you've got this time to just sit around and have that patience and to wait whatever it is that you're waiting for. You've got that opportunity now, or at least have had that opportunity to wait around. Potentially now, though, you're getting ready to move forward because you're not stuck, or not even move forward, just move from where you are. That pig is white. It's compatible with you. It is a place where you are in a good sort of place within yourself to be able to make a decision on where you feel you should be, how long you have to wait. That's basically what it is. Which bus are you waiting for? And I think you're figuring it out at the moment by looking at the timetable. You've taken the time to read the timetable to see what bus you actually want before you start moving forward. But I do think that you are going to start moving in some direction. And you are, because there you go. There's the horse. You're moving forward. You are moving, and you're moving quick. And this has got something to do romantically, because that horse there is a very romantic card. It's a very kind of, I wouldn't say like a Cupid card or a love card, but horses are renowned to wear their hearts on their sleeve. They take relationships and commitments quite seriously. They are quite romantic and lovey-dovey in a sense. Horses can be quite intimate and quite, either way, what I'm saying is this has got something maybe to do with romance or some sort of love interest, partnership, marriage, whatever. And I think that things are going well. They're moving, but you're unsure of which direction they are actually moving in. Things beyond your control are starting to happen. There are cogs now in motion that you can't stop. And I don't know if you're aware of this or not. So whatever it is that you've been waiting for, whatever it is that kind of had you patiently sitting around for, that's shifting. Either the bus is on its way, or you've missed the bus, or the bus is broken down, or you're at the wrong bus stop, or you can see the bus in the distance. Maybe you're getting on the bus. Maybe it's the wrong bus. I don't know. But something's happening now where you are potentially going to be forced to move. You're going to be moved from where you are, whether you like it or not. You can't stay in the place that you are staying. You're coming from that pig into that horse. And that horse, that's a big speed change. That's an acceleration from going from practically standing still to now jumping forward like that. The only card that would have been faster than that horse would have been a dragon. And then that would have been just, I would have said impulsive, but it's not the dragon. So I don't see it as impulsive. It's the horse. So I see it a lot more calculated and a little bit more thought through. And I also see it as it's not impulsive on your behalf simply because this is not on your behalf. This is things out of your control. Things you are not even aware of yet are starting to move. But you need to have communication here. You need to talk about it. Don't bottle stuff up. Talk. The horse and the dragon have really good communication skills when it comes to actually talking about stuff and getting stuff done and working through differences and solving problems and, you know, mapping out sort of that area of respect and admiration and consideration and sympathy. And we have this idea that everybody's the same when it comes to the level of respect and things that we have for one another, but we really don't. Every sign is very different. And when you put a horse and a dragon together, they do have the ability to respect each other and talk to each other. And I think right now, this place that you're moving towards, away from, forwards, backwards, I don't know which direction it is you're going in because you don't know yet. But I do feel talking about it, leaving the lines of communication open, these are going to serve best in your interest here. They really are. Because to have a clear perspective, you need to know about all the things that are going on around you. And this includes the stuff that you can't see or you haven't heard about yet. So communicate if you're worried, if you're anxious, if there's things that you want to say or get off your chest, do it. Now is the time. There are people around you that can help you see that sort of clearer way of I don't know. I don't want to say communicating because you've got the ability to communicate. You're a dragon. Dragons are very good at communicating, but I think potentially this hasn't got something to. This isn't something that you're gonna be able to communicate your way out of. You just need to talk about it and by talking about it, the problem will, or the solution to that problem will then eventually arise. And then potentially you'll know which direction to go in. Or just talking to other people and getting a feel of what they are kind of doing and what directions they're looking towards or heading towards may kind of motivate you and inspire you in the same sort of ways. But I do feel that these decisions, this choice, this is completely out of your hands here. This is why you've had to be patient, and this is why you've had to sit still and just kind of wait it out. But now things are moving, and they're moving fast, and they're moving quickly. They're out of your control, and I think you're handling it really well. Like, I don't know if it's because you're pretending it doesn't faze you, or your ego is protecting you, or because your thick skin is basically allowing you to, wade through the fire and the burning sort of wreckage of what is going on, or whatever it is. You're handling it well, or at least you're telling yourself you are, and that's working for you. I mean, it's all white, it's all positive. It's just these things are out of your control. You just have to, and I know this is hard for you, but you're gonna have to sit and wait it out. You have to sit and wait it out, or you're gonna be brought to a halt. Things are either gonna speed up, or you're gonna grind to an absolute halt. Hopefully, it's not the halt and bringing you to a stop, because dragons are definitely a lot more fast-paced than most signs. So by going fast, they're actually in their element and can sort of work well under that pressure. Going slow, that's a whole different ball game. They're not very comfortable with that. That's why being patient and standing still here has obviously been very kind of, I'd say, exhausting, hard, questionable, sort of debatable of why you continue to do it. But I think it is because there is an element of love interest, or there is a reason for it. There is definitely an incentive, and it's moving in directions. And as we move now into this rooster, again, what's interesting, and I haven't really touched much on this because I myself aren't very well renowned in this part of the Chinese Zodiac, but there is a part that I have sort of, I'd say, glimpsed at briefly, and that's the soul path lines, and it will be something that I'll talk about in the Sunday sessions when we talk about the Chinese Zodiac more in general. But the rooster and the dragon are actually on soul path lines, which means this hasn't just got a romantic interest, it's also got a soulmate, soul connection, soul family, soul tribe, soul love sort of connection, if you like. So you've got your catalyst card, though it's not a big catalyst. It's more of a transition or a slight change. Then you've got your love interest, which is rapidly moving out of your control, and you've just got to wait and see what's actually going to happen here. And then you've got your soulmate card coming in there as well, which together, I mean, those two combined is a very interesting one because they're both romantically involved. They're both sort of symbolizing that same sort of love interest, soulmate kind of thing. Now, the dragon and the rooster itself, they're very compatible to some degree because they both share a similar type of ego. Neither of their egos are bigger than each other's or lesser than each other's, and their egos work in different ways, so the similarities work well together and the differences don't clash. So again, it's a very kind of good card, but I see it again as there's thinking to be done. The rooster is part of the thinking triangle. So you're now thinking things through. You've got to make a thoughtful decision here. Or maybe not even a decision. You need to evaluate all these cogs that are moving, all of the things that are in place, everything that has been out of your control. You now need to evaluate and think, well, do I stand here and allow this to happen, or do I walk away? Do I intervene? Do I pick up the pieces? Do I leave the pieces? What do I do? Because you don't know what to do. You haven't known what to do for a while. You've just sat around and waited, and now things have changed, and that's not because of you didn't instigate the change. You didn't want the change. You didn't sort of ask for the change or try and push in any way. It just kind of happened around you very quickly and rapidly and took things out of your control. And that's not a place where you like to be. But that rooster is basically there to kind of remind you or to increase that thought process. You need to be thinking about things. Don't make any rash decisions. No impulsiveness. That horse is not a fast card so you can jump straight into things, because it's not an impulsive card. That's why I think this is thought through and tactical. And the rooster is a very organized, sort of logical thinking, calculated, routine orientated, very good at that kind of thinking side of things. And I think that's what this is saying now, is that there is happiness here. There is definitely something that is a long-lasting relationship. It's a good bond. It's compatible. But the approach towards it, this, it's making you hesitant. Or not even making you hesitant. You're not hesitant. You have to wait. You have to wait it out. It's like waiting for a bus. You're waiting for a bus. I feel right now that with this in mind here, that with a rooster and a dragon combination, you've got you've basically got fight and passion, and you've got undiluted criticism and a need to potentially win and to compete and to overcome certain hurdles. That's the kind of, like, if you put a rooster and a dragon together, that's the kind of team you've got there. And I feel that this is what it's saying, is that these hurdles, these things that are in the way, this competition, this game, this sport, this job, this relationship, this whole thing that you are amongst, within, a part of, now very much integrated within, and a very functional part of it. I feel that what's happening is you now have to make a choice of which direction you're running. That's what it is. That's what it is. You need to figure out what direction it is to run in, and you need to figure it out fast, because you are going to trip if you don't. And I don't see it as tripping in the bad, but this isn't going to happen. This isn't going to happen. Not in like the near future. But you can't run at a constant speed. Not when you're a dragon. You need to fly, or you need to rest. Running, that should be left to the horses, the tigers, the dogs, the signs that are more apt at running. You're a dragon, you fly. And I think that if you keep running in that direction, or in a particular direction, you're either going to be ground to a halt, or you'll be running at a speed that you're not comfortable with, and you're just going to want to fly off, and you're going to want to fly away. These are things to consider. That rooster card is basically saying, think now. Is this really the direction you want to go in? Do you want to go left? Do you want to go right? Do you want to carry on going forward? Shall we just stay here for a little bit longer? Shall we go back a few steps? But you're a dragon, so going backwards just seems absolutely illogical and pointless. Going forward is the more rational thought and more productive in your kind of immediate perspective. However, what left and right has to offer, that's definitely going to bring up that curiosity. What direction are you going to go in? And as it could potentially be a love interest or a romantic one, it is very interesting to think of the possibilities that could arise from this situation when there are decisions and choices to be made, especially when the dragon is a problem solver and a doer, and very good at implementing those actions and getting things done. When you take the dragon or yourself out of the equation, and that person or the dragon isn't solving the problems or using their skill or their best abilities to help out and solve these problems and overcome these hurdles, it's going to be very frustrating to sit there and watch as other people do it and things change without you. I think it's going to be a tough one. I think you're in for a tough week. But if anybody can take it, it is the dragon. It is the dragon, and that I have confidence with. But we'll find out next week, won't we, my lovely dragon friends, when we come back next Wednesday morning and we have another reading for you guys to see if you have got through that week without a broken heart. I will be back this afternoon with a snake reading, so if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, give us a like, leave us a comment, and follow any links in the description below that you do fancy. I will be back later. See you then, or tomorrow, or next week, or whenever. Much love and peace. Have a fantastic day.